Welcome back with the Dire Dungeon Master. We're going to start our new Sculpt Sketch series on animals. Something I've been waiting a long time to do. This should be a ton of fun. So we have cat, dog, bear, feline, canine, ursine, equine, and I'm going to just use Sculptris here. I'm going to block in a basic head shape for a quadruped. So the prolonged snout. It's so great the way the triangles just update for us. And we'll do the bear first. So that snout, like that brow ridge, how it protrudes. Bears have they're closer to canine, I guess, if you were to put any of them. But I'm not going to go through the skull and stuff. I'm just going to go for it here and start making a bear-like head right away. So I'm just kind of pushing here. And I remember to turn on my um, visualizer. So that way I'll know exactly which buttons I'm pressing as we go. So yeah, they have a huge nose, great sense of smell, much like a dog. And if I put my cursor down a bit smaller, get a little bit more detail. And it's rather pointy the way it comes off the skull. That's kind of fun. And then they have great brows. So I'll switch back to my regular brush here. And remember, you're trying to get the planes, trying to use the, whoops, I got the right, oh, D draw, of course. um, Trying to get a sense for the bony protrusion. So we definitely want the snout coming through here. We want the brow region, the cheek, the zygomatic arch, how it comes around. And if I can, use the flatten brush as well. I'm going through here. There we go, flatten F for flatten. And so getting the bony protrusions down, um, flattening some regions as I go. Although, there's certainly a lot of rounded edges. There's no perfectly flat areas. And going down smaller here with the grab brush and pulling out the ear at the right location at the base of the skull. Just getting something started here. Be widening it out a bit as I go. And trying to get the right, remember it's locked to the plane of the um, screen. So it's kind of push in there. And then I like to, when I pull an ear out right away, I like to go in and kind of push in and not fool myself as to just how thick or where the cavity goes for the actual ear hole. There we go. And a little pointy. All right. It's good so far. Back to my draw brush and bring out the jowls. They have huge jaws. They're the largest land-based carnivore if you're considering them separate from the crocodile. And pull back here. Of course, it also depends on what type of bear we're talking about here. Black bear as opposed to sun bear. There we go. Yeah, I think this nose right in here, maybe I could flatten some of that, to chisel this. So you're looking for those planes to chisel. So this is really square, right? So I have a chisel up here and a chisel on the sides. That third bevel chisel is a no-brainer, right? So you really can almost always bet that you're going to go from a four-sided to maybe six-sided, and then maybe underneath here to eight-sided. So that's why in a lot of my basic recipes for the biped that we're getting now moving to quadruped, we talk about um, using the eight-sided shape, using the octagon for almost everything. Works really well. Go back in here at the crease tool. That was E. And they have a great, there was a great lip for bears, right? So can't turn off my wireframe for a minute here and let the lighting help me out. Maybe a little bit lower. There we go. So nice and strong lip, and there's lots of curves, right? Nothing straight. So let's see how close that comes out to be. I can go up here on the crown of the nose here and use Alt with the crease and maybe pull up the shape, maybe carve back behind my crease, right? We keep preaching how that works. Pulling up and then pushing back, shifting, smoothing out a little bit as we go. Um, and then I'm not going to go too much here in the snout just because I don't have my reference up in front of me. I should. Big no-no. Draw some more. And maybe right here in the middle of the skull, I think there's a big crease down the middle, actually. So let's make sure we get that separation. Middle of the skull right there. Smooth it out. Keep going. Go to the angle right here, and then the bony protrusion back here. A nice big draw brush. Maybe bring that up some more. Smooth it out. There we go. So already we have a pretty close approximation to a bear, I think. Let me smooth out some more. Probably a little bit too low here underneath, so maybe push that under some more. And I'm not doing a lot of approximation yet on the fur. Maybe narrow this down and just how much you'll have like the tufts of fur coming out. I'm just trying to get the basic shape down first. And now we can go in here to the eye socket. Oops. And we can kind of push in. It all comes down to the eyes, any of these creatures, right? They're kind of narrower. They're predators. So forward facing eyes. Back to my flatten brush, get that snout bone going on the side here. That, shift to smooth it out. And then back to draw, Alt to push that in a bit more. Going around side, there we go. And maybe gently bring those tufts of fur out with the jaws very round here, that giant muscles. And maybe push in somewhere on the cranium here, in the back of the ear. But for a quick study, it's pretty close already, I think. Remember, as I zoom in here, my detail's about halfway. I can really go in and set the eyes, and I can go with my draw brush and I can fill in how the eyeballs kind of filled in with the eye socket, right? So the most important things, hardest things to get is the eyes, right? And the eyelids and the eye socket really sets inside the skull. And it's surrounded by tons of flesh and all these different really expressive eyes. There we go. And bring this around here as well. So there's our start on a bear. Let's always go with the crease tool at the end here, and we'll say Alt with the crease, bring up the eyelid. Remember, it's not a straight line. I'm lazy. You want to go kind of down, tear duct up, over, around, let go of the Alt, push back in. That cavity. It's just a sculpt, so don't worry about having like a precise eyeball, anything like that in there. I could go back here at the lip, do the same thing. There's great lips. Let's accentuate that a bit to kind of make sure we exaggerate, maybe a little play with that, both on the top and on the bottom. And there we go. Back to grab. Push that in a little bit. I'll bring up Pure Rough as we get more advanced here with our sketches. We'll start seeing how that works, but that's already good enough just for a quick bear study, the skull. We'll come back out and maybe save this out as its own file, and then we can begin to change this into a dog and then find some similar. We'll look at the genetic trees, evolutionary trees, and see which animals are most alike and how we can use that to our advantage with our model kits for making animals. to quickly transition in between shapes. Okay, so there's our quick bare necessities. And we'll come back and I'm sure we'll do some more variants on that as we move forward. All right, we'll see you on the next one.